Is Richmond Raceway America's longest short track or the shortest super speedway? However you define it, one thing is certain: Richmond is fast, fierce, and unforgiving. This 3/4 mile D-shaped oval demands everything a driver has: raw power on the straights, precision and patience in the corners. It's a place where the Craftsman Truck Series, the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, and the NASCAR Cup Series have all learned the same lesson. If you want to win at Richmond, you'd better bring the whole package. From its beginnings as Strawberry Hill Speedway, a half-mile dirt track on the Richmond Fairgrounds back in 1953, to the modern facility we see today, Richmond has evolved through 4 configurations and nearly 7 decades of racing history. Now boasting more than 51,000 seats, 40 luxury suites, and racing under the lights since 1991, this track has become a staple of high-intensity short-track competition. And tonight, the spotlight shines once again. It's the PSRA Open ARCA Series Capital City 150. It's coming up next on Track Limits Network. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the virtual Richmond Raceway. I'm Steve Singer with Track Limits Network, joined in the broadcast booth by Chris Goins. How we doing, Chris?
Hey, Steve. Doing good tonight. How you doing?
We're doing well. Practice just about wrapped up. Brief drivers meeting completed here, but before we get too deep into the woods, let's look at the race details tonight. 150 laps the distance, 50% fuel load on board, 4 sets of tires available over the wall. No fast repairs, count them, 0 zip zillage, and 3 attempts at a green-white checkered finish. Weather-wise, we're looking 68 degrees, 64% humidity, partly cloudy skies, 11-mile-per-hour breeze. Track temperature, that's the important part, 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's take a look at the top times so far. Fastest on the board is the 46 of Will Jones. Corey Bigley, second quick. Bobby Hamilton Jr., Jeremiah Holt, Cole Ansley, the top 5. You see the rest on down the line with a top 10 split there. Bottom 10 drivers will be splitting up. You see 11 through 20, and it'll change up to the remainder, 21st and 22nd. New looks here with Track Limits Network here this week, starting off 2026 with something fresh and new. Chris, I'm excited about this one, the action track, if you will, here at Richmond Raceway. A tough place to get around, to be fast. Talking to Zach Millett earlier in the week about a setup he actually tried to play with from David Bradford, just kind of talking about rolling the center is going to be the most important part of getting around this place in a hurry and taking care of the car. What say you on that subject?
Yeah, I think he's spot on with that. You know, being able to get the car to rotate in the center, but on throttle coming off is going to be. This place is notoriously loose, sliding around, getting loose off the corners. Just being able to keep the car underneath you, keep those tires cool. You're going to see a lot of heat hitting these tires. Well, you won't see it obviously, but there will be there, and you'll see a lot of these cars start sliding around later in the run. So if they can get off the corner and get down and just get the car to rotate, I think that's going to be key.
A couple of drivers missing out of action this week, potentially the balance of the season. Unfortunately, the 55, Ryan Dunkelberger, and I think the 54 of Andrew Phipps. Reasons we won't get into, but nonetheless not here tonight. Tough to lose a couple of quick drivers out of the league, but we'll press on without them, unfortunately. 22-car field here tonight at Richmond. Plenty of action here at Richmond. About 3 minutes or so left in this final practice before we get into qualifying. Chris, what really changes here at a track like Richmond between qualifying and practice? Obviously, these guys are running open setup, so they can kind of cater their race car or tinker on their race car to make it ideal for a very, very short run of just a couple of laps, change things up for the long run. But what's the best way to be fast around here, at least in qualifying, get yourself some good track position?
Well, getting the tires warmed up on your outlap is crucial too. So, you want them to be as warm as possible so that you have that grip. I like we were talking about coming off the corners and give you those runs. So, the biggest thing is trying to get those tires up to temp pretty quickly, and just being able to run scary laps. Basically, is what you're trying to do. So, the scarier the lap, usually the faster it is here at Richmond.
Loose on entry, typical for these types of race cars, whether, well, really, it doesn't really seem to matter too much, whether it's trucks, ARCA, Cup. I think loose on entry tends to be how you want it because you don't want to carry too much brake into the corner, but just enough to step that right rear out, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, this is one of those places where it's outside of my comfort zone, but looser is definitely faster. Definitely don't want that wall right there coming off at 2 is sneak up on you in a heartbeat if you got a tire race.
Frank Griffith, 9th quick so far in this session as we are just about a minute and a half away from getting into qualifying. Will Jones still the fastest as he wraps up his attempt here. 5th quick is Cole Ansley. Keep an eye on the 86 tonight. The super late model champion from the Scar days has an ability to get around these short tracks similar to not too many other drivers. Should be a factor here tonight if you can keep the fenders on it. Corey Bigley, the number 58 machine, currently 2nd quick, 21.351. So just making his moves around Ken Couch there. Again, just a little practice passing. This isn't for competition, but you know how races are, Chris. They're just going to go out there and try to be the fastest guy in the field. Winning practice doesn't pay anything, but certainly a little bit of bragging rights.
Yeah, I mean, very seldom do you actually see in the race any times that are even close to what practice times are. You're coming out here throwing it at the edge and hoping that it sticks. And if it doesn't, then it is what it is. In practice, you just reset and start again. You don't get that opportunity there in the race.
Practice comes to a close. Black and red flags on this session. We'll get right into our quick 5-minute qualifying efforts. We'll see who takes to the speedway first. Will Jones going to roll out, so let's watch the 46. He was the fastest in the practice session. Got Ryan Dunkelberger in the chat. Says, hope all the Stinger Motorsports guys put a hurt on this field. Genuine guys, super welcoming. Stinger guys are class act. Bobby Hamilton Jr. goes pole, 21.674. Jones with a 22.015 on his second lap. He drops down as Fahey jumps up into P2. See if Jones has anything here on lap number 2. Oh, real loose, and he's in the wall coming to the line. That'll kill that second lap. That'll do it for Will Jones. 5th quick so far. Bobby finishes up with a 5:39. He picks up the pace on lap number 2, so currently provisional pole sitter. Cole Ansley off of turn number 4. 8:60. Does he improve on lap 2? He does, not by a ton, but still 4th quick. A.J. Rogers now, last year's champion, rolling onto the speedway. And I think he's thinking twice about it. Drew Blaze out of Blue Ball, Pennsylvania. Drew never quits. Bobby Jr. still fast time, 21.539. Blaze goes 9th quick on his first lap with a 22.18. Second lap, big improvement, fourth quick, 21:73 for Drew Blaze. Now David Bradford, winner at Indy. 21:75, goes P1, 21:461. Knocks Bobby Jr. off the top spot. A.J. Rogers now 8th quick with a 21:8. His first lap. Again, he stopped it, came back out on the racetrack, and I wonder if maybe he had the wrong setup in the car. Now William Luttrell cheering on Steven, go number 36, as Rogers will cross start finish. Fourth quick, 68. Good lap. I'll watch Corey Bigley here. He goes 8th quick on his first attempt, 21:787. Again, pay no mind to some of the photos here in the driver information bottom of the screen. We're still trying to get the aspect ratios right on some of these photos, so some of them look a little stretched. Corey's a skinny guy. He looks a little wide in that one. Goes to the pole, though, 21:451. He's going to want to keep that car wide here if he's going to start out front. An awesome lap for the 58. Rodney Roberts out of Alabama, 22:140, 15th. Second lap, goes 9th, puts it in the top 10 with just about a minute and 10 seconds left in the session. A few drivers haven't been to the track yet. Frank Griffith, Keenan Kimber, Mark Truxell, Justin Johnson, and Josh Ingram. They could get a lap in if they choose to right now, but so far, no go. Alan DeFries put a lap and a quarter in. I don't know if he officially got a lap of record. He did, 22:21, so maybe he had a problem there on lap number 2, but looks like Alan will start in about the 16th position. 30 seconds left. If they want to make a lap, they better hustle. I don't think it's going to happen for anybody else. So Griffith, Kimber, Truxell, Johnson, and Ingram will likely start at the back of the field in I-rating order. That'll move Kimber up a spot. Justin Johnson should be right about behind him. Actually, no, looks like, Minnick ran a 24:81 and then a 26:18. Minnick having a problem on track, clearly. Well, before we get too deep into it, Chris, who's your pick tonight? There's a couple guys up there that are really fast and could be later on in the run. This is going to be a tough call tonight.
Yeah, I knew it was coming, and I still am struggling with it. You know what? I think that some of the bad luck may be going to wear off tonight. I'm going to take the 25 of Bobby Jr.
I'm going to go with the 46 of Will Jones. That long run speed in practice is impressive, so we'll stick with that. But let's get at it. Our starting grid for the Capital City 150 from Richmond Raceway. Corey Bigley on the pole with a lap time of 21.451 seconds. To his outside, missed it by 10 one-thousandths of a second, the 13 of David Bradford. Starting in the second row, it's Bobby Hamilton Jr. and Will Hewitt. Row number 3, A.J. Rogers and Steve Luttrell. Row 4 rolls off. It'll be Drew Blaze and Jeremiah Holt. Row 5, Rodney Roberts and Cole Ansley. Starting 11th, the 49 of Dominic Bettini with Mike Fahey to his right elbow. And we're trying to make this move, and it's not going to move. Glitches of the new system. We'll get it worked out. Mac Nicholson, Will Jones, 13th and 14th. Ken Couch, 15th. Alan DeFries, 16th. Terry Wilson will be 17th. Brandon Minnick, 18th. Keaton Kimber, 19th. Justin Johnson, 20th. 21st will be Frank Griffith. 22nd, Josh Ingram and shotgun on the field. In the 23rd position will be Mark Truxell in the 5. Your starting grid here from Richmond Raceway. Getting ready to roll off here momentarily. Still need Rodney Roberts to get gridded up. Keenan Kimber the same. Now Roberts is gridded. Kimber is still waiting on the number 65. There he goes. We can get rolling here. Pace car is going to throw that thing in drive and head out onto the speedway. I think 2 pace laps here tonight before we get underway. Race distance here tonight, 150 laps. We'll take a look at some further details before we get too far into things. 50% fuel load on board, 4 sets of tires available over the wall. No fast repairs, 0 zip, zillage, 3 attempts at a green-white checkered finish. 68-degree track temperature. We'll have to keep an eye on that, see if things continue to cool here under the lights at Richmond, but not going to expect to see a whole lot of changes in that department as this race moves on.
Steve, I know I haven't been here all season, just a couple races there, but this is the first short track of the season, huh?
You know, taking a look here, let me double check. So many different schedules, I got to double. Yeah, first short track of the season. We got Richmond tonight. And then Bristol late in the season. That's going to be on March 29th.
We'll see what kind of patience and temperaments we'll get tonight if we get a little short track racing.
Green flag is in the air. Up to speed they go. Corey Bigley, David Bradford across the stripe. Lap 1 in the books. Bigley's going to lead it. Bobby Hamilton Jr. jumps up into the second spot. Bradford back to third. Hewitt fourth. David Bradford out of line here. He's dropping back, moving down the line, losing a bunch of positions. I don't know if he's got a penalty to serve or if he jumped to start. Yes, black flag for David Bradford early here at Richmond Raceway. He's going to have to come to pit lane to serve, I believe, a stop and go or maybe a pass-through. We'll see what the penalty is for the 13, but a tough start already here for David Bradford. Into pit lane.
That is huge here with this short track. He's going to lose a lot of time and go down probably 2 laps.
Honestly, it kind of puts him into a tough box here tonight because as one of the main league admins, you want to see a race run clean and green all the way through to the end, but he's going to need a caution, maybe even 2 to get caught back up. Bigley enjoying just under a 0.4 of a second advantage over Bobby Hamilton Jr. Alan DeFries further back to field. Already getting run down by the race leaders. I don't know if Allen had a problem. In fact, it does look like on the second lap he had an issue out on the speedway. Let's take a look. Oh, loses it off of turn number 4. Such an easy place to have that happen, and he clips the 54 Frank Griffin in the meantime. Lucky for Allen, I think he gets back out on the track without any significant damage to speak of, but he is already under fire. About 10 car lengths ahead of the race leader. He's going to have to work hard here to stay out in front of Corey Bigley. Cross his fingers to catch a caution. Meanwhile, Terry Wilson has come to pit lane for an unknown reason. He's been there about 2 minutes. We've only been under the green here for 7 laps. Do the math. It was pretty early where the 3 machine came down into pit lane. Further back through the field, everybody pretty well single file here, just trying to log some laps early here at Richmond. Will Jones to the bottom on Matt Nicholson. Jones not a great qualifying effort. Remember, he had a problem there coming to the start-finish to finish up his attempt. Started back in 14th, back half of the field. We'll see if the 46 has that long-run speed that we expected to see. He was fastest in the practice session. Nobody was able to knock him off. Jones not wasting time. He's all over the back of Jeremiah Holt. This would be for the 10th spot for Jones. Close quarters there with Drew Blaze and Steve Luttrell just ahead of that fight. Blaze working to the outside of the 36. Keeps it there. Where is the best place to pass at this racetrack here, Chris? Is it on the bottom? Is it up top? Does it kind of work both ways?
I mean, the bottom is definitely going to be the easiest place to get up alongside. If you're defending, you definitely want to be up top. You can get a heck of a run, especially on this pretty long and wide front stretch that kind of sweeps around. You get a huge run off the corner. So if you're stuck on the bottom, it's going to be tough to get around unless you're significantly faster. As you see right here with Will being underneath the 73, I mean, he could spend 2-3 laps here, if not more, because that 73 can keep the speed up. So even though we know that, it's possible that Will may have the faster car, he just can't get the run on the bottom.
Jones settles back in behind the 73, has to re-examine his game plan here to get around that Chevrolet. May just be content riding for a little bit, see what Jeremiah is doing, where he can improve, maybe just let the 73 burn off his stuff. Will Jones, teammate with David Bradford, both of those guys known for taking care of their equipment. Meanwhile, though, Bradford 22nd, a lap down here, definitely going to need a caution to get back on the lead lap, but he's going to have to clear the 54 of Frank Griffith. That early incident with Griffith and Alan DeFries has put a few of those guys off the lead lap. Frank Griffith currently in the lucky dog spot, so if the caution comes out, he would get it back. As Fahey now goes to the bottom on Matt Nicholson and makes short work of the 4. Move Fahey back to where he started in P12. Nicholson dives to the bottom trying to take it back, but thought better of it late. Now it's going to open the door for the 81 of Minnick. It's kind of a desperation move, I would say, here for Nicholson. I don't think that was a real high probability move there for the 4 to take it back, and it's cost him yet another spot. And here comes the 65 of Keenan Kimber as well.
Yeah, it almost looked like one of those slide job moves you see on dirt. I was thinking we were running a dirt track there for a second, but I think he did think better of it. Didn't want to ruin his race or fate. So he just kind of settle back in, keep the temperature out of those tires, fight into the day.
Now, speaking of dirt, now those that know me are going to lose their minds when I say this because they know my feelings about dirt racing. But Kimber going to the inside on Nicholson here. In the open, we talked about how this place originally was a dirt track. I know we threw dirt on Bristol years back, and again, people know my opinions on that. But what do you say they throw some dirt back on Richmond?
Me personally, I think you find a dirt track that's this size already.
Oh, I agree completely.
There's plenty of them out there, but
I do agree, but if they're going to go that route and throw it on an existing track that's not dirt, why not do it here?
Right. I mean, it's high speed for a short track. It's wide, so you've got the room for the huge slider and the wide open. You get big cushion on the outside and stuff like that. It's not a bad idea if they're going to do it. I mean, may as well. They think about doing another dirt track, may as well consider it for sure.
Now, it's certainly not too big. I mean, I remember going to the, Super Dirt Week up in Syracuse back in the day, their final race that they ran at the fairgrounds there before they moved up to Oswego. That's a full mile. They were running big block modifieds out there, and they were really hauling the mail. I can't imagine throwing I wouldn't say put a cup car back on it. I just don't think that's where those cars belong personally, but why not the trucks? Why not the ARCA series? I say go for it.
Yeah, I mean, and you hate to say it like this, but sometimes those quote lower series, the ARCAs and truck, it's kind of sometimes they're the guinea pigs for the rest of the season, right? So throw them on there first, see what the racing looks like. I think with a few updates, the cup car could be pretty decent on dirt again, but I don't think the current iteration is all that great, but on the dirt. But yeah, I mean, if you're gonna try it, may as well try it with some of those cars and throw them out there.
All that said, ARCA does have dirt races on their schedule and have for quite some time. In fact, they were kind of like the litmus test at the very beginning. It was like, well, if ARCA can make it work, why can't we do it in the trucks or the Xfinity or the Cup Series? Again, still, I think that the Cup car is far more advanced for that sort of thing. To me, it's like a slap in the face to the engineers that built that race car, whether you love it or hate it. It's absolutely not made for dirt racing, but Realistically, neither are the rest of the cars, but somehow they make it work. Meanwhile, out in front, Corey Bigley on a Sunday drive here at Richmond Raceway, almost 3 seconds back to last year's champion, A.J. Rogers. Rogers has caught and then subsequently passed and now run away from Bobby Hamilton Jr. in the 3rd position. Frank Griffith about mid-pack here, but still a lap down. Still occupies that lucky dog spot, but Ingram running back in the 19th spot, about 6 or 7 seconds away from going down a lap, and that would take away that lucky dog position for Frank Griffith. It's kind of interesting, Chris, if you think about it, like, okay, you're in the lucky dog position by being the first car 1 lap down, but when the leader gets to that next car, which effectively becomes slower than you, how does that make you in a position where, oh, sorry, you're not going to get your lap back now?
Yeah, you know, you kind of get to a point with that where you don't want to get in the way, but you can't give up too much time, like you said, because they're going to constantly catch the back of the field. And I think right here you've got a case of the 54. He's got a 71 right behind him, who is actually he's fighting for that spot. So, you know, he can't take it easy. I mean, he's gonna have to get up there and run, and hope that it times it well enough to where he can stay that lucky dog, where the leader doesn't catch the rest of the field in that regard. But 54, Frank can't take just a Sunday drive there. He's gonna have to really stay up on that wheel and in front of that 71.
As we watch Frank Griffith here, I got to notice that he's got some front end damage there from that incident with Alan DeFries. I believe that's what it's from. The center of that Mustang punched in just ever so slightly. Can't imagine that's going to affect the handling too terribly much, at least in a pack. But in clean air, you're not going to get quite the downforce. That thing may end up pushing a little more than expected. We'll have to see if that becomes a problem there for Frank Griffith.
Yeah, and taking care of that right front is crucial here, you know, because of that getting real tight off of 2 there. So we'll see, like you said, if it does cause any other problems with him, but hopefully get some of that damage repaired if there is a caution, or maybe even under green flags.
Make a note here of some of our big movers here inside the top 10. Rodney Roberts in the 5th spot, making a move here to the inside of Will Hewitt. Roberts up 4 positions, trying to make it 5 to take that away from the 33 Chevrolet. In behind him, Dominic Bettini also up 5 positions from where he started tonight. So a quality race setup underneath these drivers as they continue to march forward. So Terry Wilson has been in pit lane since I think about lap 1. He may have actually exited the race at this point, shown 32 laps down, but I believe we have some information on it. Let's look to see if we can catch what happened here. Was it leaving pit lane? Very slow on pit exit. Just got to wonder, Chris, if he had some kind of hardware issue at home there to cause this problem. He's very slow, even coming down the backstretch after leaving pit lane. I believe he just comes right back to the pits thereafter. Oh, up the racetrack like it won't turn.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there, Steve. It almost looked like maybe some sort of mechanical issue that put him out of the race early.
Well, nonetheless, he may have already left the server at this point. Bigley continues to stretch his lead. It's now over 3.1 seconds over A.J. Rogers. Lap times are showing the same. Bigley a tenth and a half faster than the second-place driver in A.J. Rogers. Another 2.5 tenths back to Bobby Hamilton Jr. as far as the lap times are concerned. Bigley definitely has a strong setup underneath that Ford Mustang. Meanwhile, in that conversation there, Ingram did go down a lap. So now Josh Ingram in the number 56, shown as the lucky dog recipient if the caution were to come out now. New colors on board the number 56 this week, the Fireball Mustang. Stinger Motorsports entry. Fireball Blazing Apple, no less. Well, now I'm thirsty.
I was going to say, oof, memories of maybe not necessarily the Blazing Apple, but memories or lack thereof.
Well, yeah. Any of you guys that have spent any kind of camping experiences at Watkins Glen for the NASCAR weekend, there's a group of campers out there. We call it the Fireball tent because that's pretty much what it is. It's not a sanctioned tent. It's not anything that is really sponsored outside of crowd-funded, but they buy a couple of campsites about midway down the backstretch on the main drag there, and they just pop up a tent with some lights and a DJ and some music, and they give away free drinks all night long. They're not allowed to sell it because they don't have a liquor license, but they just put on a hell of a party, and yeah, we've consumed a fair amount of Fireball at that tent over the years. Bigley just checking out. Huge advantage back to A.J. Rogers. It's now 3.3, pushing on 3.4. Again, the fuel window tonight, 46 to 52 laps. So they're approaching that first round of green flag pit stops. Corey Bigley being out in front. I know it's not Talladega or Daytona, but Chris, does it make a huge difference when you're the lead car here as far as fuel economy, or do you actually save just enough in the draft, so to speak, here at even a small place like Richmond?
Yeah, I think, this track gives you all the opportunity to save fuel too. Being your off throttle time, you roll out of it early, kind of stay off the brakes as much as you can. You can actually save quite a bit here. I would argue that you could save more here than you can at some of those heavy drafting tracks overall, just by yourself. With the off throttle and slow to pick it up. There's plenty of ways to do it. Shut off the car. You're out of the throttle so much you can shut off the car mid-corner and give it some time to save that way. So real quick, looks like our car that was running third, Bobby Jr., had an incident on track and had to make his way to the pits.
Let's take a look at it. We do have a replay, and it's already late in the incident. A lot of damage to the nose of the number 25. We'll see if we can just back this up. Again, not my favorite thing to do. I'll say that till the day is long, but did he just lose a right front? Let's watch it in real time. Oh, he's already in the wall off down the backstretch. Oh, got clipped by Terry Wilson. Wilson's still on the track. Oh, no. Tough break for Bobby Hamilton Jr. getting caught in a lap or Terry Wilson. Ending his night clearly. Bobby already down multiple laps. Corey Bigley maintaining his lead now back to A.J. Rogers. That moves Dominic Bettini up into the third spot, but Bettini in third, still 8.5 seconds behind the race leader. Corey Bigley on rails here in Richmond, just about third distance in the capital city 150. Coming back to the line, lap 50 goes up on the board. A little bit of a wiggle, a little instability, and here comes Bigley to pit lane. Race leader on pit lane, green flag stops underway. Drew Blaze, Mike Fahey, Justin Johnson came down already, I believe, unless they're just chasing him down. In fact, no, they're there first, but they're almost a lap down to the race leader. This is going to kind of save them from losing the lap, at least to Bigley, track position-wise, but Rogers will take over the top spot. Bigley into the number 1 pit stall, likely to take 4 tires here. Four-tire change for the Red Bull number 58 of Corey Bigley. Drops the jack, heads back out. 14:47, a quick pit stop for the Corey Bigley team. He'll get back out there. Now Colt Ansley will take over the race lead as Rogers comes down to pit. Again, we are at the tail end of this fuel window as Bigley comes out in front of the leader, Ansley. Bigley yields to Colt, trying to come up to speed, knowing that he's going to have to pit, but now back into 1. He's got all that extra grip. Last lap for Ansley at 22:73 versus his fastest at 21:76, almost a full second of tire fall off. You see the disadvantage that he has to those new tires as he does eventually now come to pit lane at the end of lap 53. So Colt Ansley from the lead on pit lane. Corey Bigley will inherit the top spot again when he comes back around the next time by. So just like that, our first round of green flag stops in the books here at Richmond Raceway. Now, if it runs green to the end, there's only one more stop to be had for these guys because they clearly all went to at least lap 50. And as we were kind of talking about, Chris, Bigley had to come down first. He was at lap 50. There might have been a couple of guys that opted to short pit just a little bit, but that's going to force them into a 3-stop race, kind of banking on for cautions unless they find a way to save additional fuel, even though you said they have the ability to save a lot more fuel, at least on the racetrack, versus places like Daytona or Talladega.
Yeah, I think you saw a few of those guys come in a hair early. I think what they may have been doing was trying to get a bit of an undercut, knowing that they could go further and knowing that maybe they could still make it on just the one more stop if they stretched it all the way out for the next couple. But maybe just trying to undercut it, get a little bit extra for a couple laps to see if they could overtake a few guys on the track that maybe they wouldn't have had a chance to otherwise with just riding behind them.
I mean, it's definitely a track position play, but you've got to kind of hope for at least one caution to stretch that fuel to make it on one more stop. Statistically, yes, you're going to get that caution. These races rarely run green to checker. I don't care how good the drivers are. It's going to happen at some point where somebody has a problem. We've seen a couple of guys in the opening lap have a problem. It just didn't bring out the yellow. Bobby Jr., of course, getting clipped not too long ago with Terry Wilson. That didn't bring out a yellow either. But I just got to wonder, if it happens again, will it be enough to pull a yellow flag?
Well, I think your biggest chance of the biggest opportunity for yellow flag is going to be right after with these cold tires. We didn't notice running beside Colt before he pit. He did get pretty loose off of 4. So I think with all the cold tires, there's a good opportunity for at the end of these pit stops to get a little bit of somebody lose it. It's just a matter if it's going to bring out the caution, like you talked about with the lap 1 crash with Allen and Frank. It just didn't bring out a caution. Spun off to the infield and didn't register the caution. So we'll see. It would be interesting to have one to tighten it up, but I certainly don't wish that upon anybody. I'm not putting the broadcaster's curse out there for that or anything like that, but Bigley's just running away with this thing, and he's just super fast all night, and he's just praying it stays.
Well, we know Corey Bigley is a talented race car driver. That's why he's out in front, but at the same token, Dunkelberger in the chat says, Biggs has an amazing setup in that car. Hope he makes it happen. It's been fast all season. He's been a contender at the majority of the tracks that we've been to, though we are relatively early in the season. It can only get better for the 58. So he continues to click off laps, and with the exception of the green flag pit stops, he's led every one of them. 62 laps in here, Bigley leads, and Jeremiah Holt back in the 12th position. He's shown as the last car on the lead lap. Mike Fahey, the first car, 1 lap down. David Bradford trying to work his way back through. Bradford shown in 17th. Speaking of guys that need caution laps here, Bradford needs to work his way up into that lucky dog spot. He's got a ways to go. Again, Fahey in 13th in the lucky dog. Bradford back in 17th. He's got work to do. Bradford across start finish. Fahey just getting off of turn 4. So David definitely needs a yellow at least just to get caught up, maybe a second caution to get into that lucky dog position. So it's going to be a tough row to hoe here for David Bradford here tonight. Showing off a little bit for Whiplash Sim Cams, the official sim cam provider for Track Limits Network. All the custom camera work that Andrew Cardinale III gives us to put on these wonderful shots here at Track Limits Network. Certainly appreciate his assistance throughout the years. Andrew's been a big help, not only in Track Limits camera production, but just general advice. There's a lot of things that Andrew filled us in on here at the network and how to do things, what's the best thing, and spending some time in some of his broadcasts over on Pit Stop TV. It's really helped me quite a bit. So infinite thanks over to those guys.
Yeah, those guys really are a top-notch organization over there. I've been a part of a few of their broadcasts with being in the race, and I've watched many of them with guys that I know racing. So, Andrew and those guys really put on a big production there, and it's really cool to see how much Track Limits has taken, not taken from them, but learned from them and become what it is. A big props.
Well, it's funny because Pit Stop TV did some broadcast for the Superior Class Auto Racing Series way back in the day, prior to myself coming into the picture and helping those guys out. Obviously, we're staggered broadcasting for a bit as well. But they put on some races, and they covered some of the SCAR stuff. But they also put on the SCAR Road Course Series. I forget exactly what we called it. I know Grid Engineering took part and was sponsoring some of that as well. But they broadcast our races with the old GT1 car. Andrew did a great job with that as well. But, again, got to thank him. He's done a lot for us here at Track Limits and continues to do so. So big shout-out to them for sure. Bigley just on a tear here. He's just trying to cut through some lap traffic. That's all he's got to worry about. He's got a 5.8 second lead back to A.J. Rogers.
Yeah, I mean, he's got almost everybody except for the top 10 put a lap down. He's just laying it on him tonight here, Steve.
Jeremiah Holt in 11th. Next in the crosshairs of the 58 of Bigley. I want to give an attaboy here to A.J. Rogers, though. Obviously, last year's champion hasn't really had the season this season that he's really been happy with, I'm sure. But a second-place run here and run second to that machine at the front of the field right now, that's an achievement in itself. Though he is 5.8 seconds back, qualified fifth here tonight, consistently running here in the second spot. Dominic Bettini, he's a ways back, too, 5 seconds plus behind the second-place machine. So A.J. Rogers on a tear tonight also. Corey Bigley off turn 4, going to start lap 75. We are pretty much halfway, in fact, officially now at the halfway point tonight of the Capital City 150. We're going to step aside, get our Track Limit side-by-side break out of the way. Stay with us. We'll come back right after this.
Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop-lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics, LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens, UMP Modified and Silver Crown driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws late model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
Need insurance coverage that's built for speed? Frank Yea's office in South Charleston has your back. Whether you're blazing down the highway, protecting the home you've built, or setting up a legacy for your family, we've got the coverage you need. Auto, home, life, fast, simple, and made for you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to explore all our services and start a free quote today. Lock it in, save it for later, or call us at 304-744-7700 to get started.
Well, you saw it in the side-by-side. Our first caution of the night for Terry Wilson as we're ready for the restart here. Bigley and A.J. Rogers all caught up here, ready for the restart. Green flag back in the air. Bigley with a big jump down into turn one, carries a half-second advantage off of turn number two. So, with all of that said, there was an issue with Will Jones prior to us going to break. We didn't catch what exactly it was, but he jumped to the pits. My guess is, because it shows in my side of things, that he entered pit lane and then jumped to pit lane. Only guessing here. We'll have to go back and watch it in a moment, but he may have missed his entry and then had to tow back. I don't know if he just stretched the fuel or what his plan was there, but nevertheless, Will Jones out of contention early here at Richmond. It still sits in pit lane, shown in the 21st position, just one ahead of another hard charger, Bobby Hamilton Jr. Meanwhile, third place battle between Rodney Roberts and Will Hewitt. Fresh tires. Hewitt seems to have the better race car as he sticks the nose to the left rear quarter of Roberts. Tucks back in behind in front of Bettini. Inches to spare between the 33 and the 49. Dominic now to the outside. Thought about it at least. Nothing doing for Bettini. But Chris, we talked a little bit in the break. When this caution came out when it did, it kind of throws that one more stop strategy out the window. So everybody came down and made their pit stop under this caution. It forces them into a situation where, again, 46 to 52 laps, the distance on a full tank of fuel. These guys are all going to have to come down and make one more stop again before it's all said and done.
Yep, absolutely. And you know, it could lend itself to bringing in a little bit of strategy here. You know, with Bigley with the car that he's had all night, I think unless something goes terribly wrong, somebody's going to have to do something drastic to really get around him. So there's a couple different options here for pits now. Everybody's got to do it one more time. You may see guys split it up. There was about 70 laps to go, went back green. So you may see guys split it up evenly, 35 and 35. You may see guys run, you know, a full tank out and then take a little splash for the last 15 laps. Who knows? So it's just going to be a guessing game. It does bring in a little bit of strategy, though. So it should be an interesting race from here to the end.
Well, that was kind of my question. It was going to be next for you, Chris, is you've got options, like you said, split the rest of the race into two separate sections, 35 and 35, or do you run it all the way to the end of the gas tank and, you know, maybe put right sides on instead? That's an alternative. But you as a driver, again, I haven't been behind the wheel in quite some time, but what would be your go-to strategy in this scenario? Say you're a top 5 guy, you don't necessarily have the leader's pace. What's the best decision, at least in your eyes, to make? Do you split the stages 35 and 35? That's personally what I'm going to do.
Yeah, it's tough. It depends on how many tire sets did they have at Wall. I don't remember.
4.
Okay. So I mean, yeah, I'm probably going to split it 35 and 35 if I had to guess. It was up. So I'd probably do that, just knowing that if a late caution comes out, I can come in and take a new set again anyway. If I only had one set left, then I'm probably running it all the way out, trying to maybe do something. If I'm not the 58. The 58, I think he comes in, splits it 35-35, runs it out. I think he's got the car to do it. Anybody behind him, especially with Rogers and Rodney Roberts there, have to do something a little bit different, I think, because otherwise you're just going to follow the leader right to the start finish line, right? So, but we'll see. I think, but if I'm the 58, I'm splitting it 35-35. If I'm anybody behind him, I may be doing something different.
Ryan Dunkelberger with a comment in the chat. We'll get to that in a minute here, but A.J. Rogers running lap times a half-tenth faster than the race leader. He's cut that lead down by a couple of tenths. It's now just over 6/10 of a second from Rogers up to Bigley. We'll see if he can continue that pace, but man, tonight it certainly seems like Bigley has the long-run speed. Rogers does as well to maintain that second spot, but we'll see if he's got enough to run down the 58. Now, to Dunkelberger's comment in the chat, he says, split your stages if you're leading. Don't let the guy in second get there before you. It's great advice, and that was kind of my comment about the top 5. I'm trying to think the same way about anybody behind me from 6th on back, but it's a really good way to look at things as the race leader. You've heard Larry Mack say it, and we've mentioned it here on the broadcast a million times. If you follow the leader, you're going to follow the leader. So try to prevent those guys behind you from doing something silly, or really smart for that matter, to try and gain the track position. Don't force yourself into a situation where you have to make a pass on the racetrack. Be the first one to come in, get those fresh tires, have fresh tires that are consistently fresher throughout the course of those last remaining laps. So it's not a bad strategy call. Ryan Dunkelberger pointing that out. He's obviously got some talent behind the wheel as well, so we'll take that advice for what it's worth, and it's worth a lot.
Yeah, especially a place like here. I mean, you see such a fall off the cliff per se of the tires after about lap 35 to 40.
And the caution's out again.
Out. Be ready with that brake clean and stuff, guys. Your blower, they're going to drop down some oil dry here, I'm sure.
Alan DeFries has jumped to pit lane already, so I'm assuming here this is the 71 machine that has brought us under the yellow flag. We'll take a look at it. Our second caution of the night, and this changes everything. And even with that,
looks like it's right there on the backstretch in that view.
yeah, but I can't tell who exactly it is. It says Alan DeFries, but it doesn't change the camera angle, which tells me he may have had a severe connection issue. There's a couple of guys down there. It looks like Frank Griffith and Ken Couch, possibly. So let's see if we can look at that. Try again here. There it is. Griffith and Couch off turn number 2. They come together. But we're still not quite to that fuel window. We're just maybe a lap shy. You got to wonder if anybody's going to gamble.
I can tell you one person that I think will come in and take tires regardless of what happens.
Well, Corey Bigley has
is-
already completed his pit stop, and he took 4. The 2 that stayed out, Brandon Minnick and David Bradford. So don't discount his opinions on things. Bradford is he's a crafty driver out there, and he's going to restart in second. No, he's not. Now he's going to come to pit lane.
That's what I was going to say. Don't look now, but he got the lucky dog this caution. So he was the first car 1 lap down. So he's going to come in and get his fresh tires and be on the lead lap. So keep an eye on that green 13. I know we say it all the time, but
Remember, he started outside pole. If anybody's got an opportunity to run down Corey Bigley, I think Bradford may have the opportunity to do so, but he's got to get there. He's going to be deep in the field here. Again, we are at about lap 98 right now. So it's going to be tight on fuel for some of these guys, but the benefit here, those wave around or lucky dog drivers, they have to pit separately from the lead lap cars. So Bradford, obviously you just saw it. He comes down here at lap 98. So that honestly gives him a little bit of an advantage, at least as far as the fuel concerns are. 52 laps was the extreme. We saw some guys, a very few of them, stretch it to 53. I think Colt Ansley was one that was able to go that extra lap. We'll see if Bradford can do the same, but even still, I think we're okay because we're on the 1 to go right now. Yes, so we'll come around. It'll be lap 100 when we get the restart. So it's going to be close for some guys, but maybe not everybody.
yeah, I think, certainly Minnick is going to be one that's not going to be able to make it now without pitting this time by. So he's hoping for another caution later on, I'm sure.
But Minnick has only made 2 stops here, Chris, so this could, if we catch another caution in, say, 25 laps, this could really fall on his lap.
It absolutely could, for sure.
So Minnick with the lead. We'll see if he gets the river card, I guess we could say. I'm not much of a poker player, but Minnick must be. So Bigley restarting third here. He's going to have to make short work of Will Hewitt, and he likely will with fresh tires. Hewitt's got fresh rubber too, but man, Bigley has been so fast tonight. And just like that, Bigley to the bottom of the racetrack.
And see, this is something that Bigley hasn't had to compete with for the entirety of the night so far. He hasn't had to really struggle on that bottom side to pass somebody. So what you're going to want to see with him is him to get by as quickly as possible. Because if he rides down there for too long, he's going to heat up those tires. He's not planning on stop. He's going to wear those out faster than he would. So it could lend itself for somebody that's been behind him, Rogers, or Hewitt even, or anybody like that to really contend with him.
Bigley looks like he'll get it done here. It's going to take him a couple of laps, but here comes Brandon Minnick there into the frame. Bigley's going to try and get the first place position as well as they run off turn number 2. He's there. Bigley to the bottom, back to the point. So far this season, this is the most dominant we've seen a driver be. Corey Bigley has led the most laps tonight, certainly already, and very quickly has worked his way back to the front. Will Hewitt, though, in the second position. We'll see what kind of lap time the 33 can drop down here as they cross the stripe. Corey Bigley ran a 21.60, Will Hewitt a 67, so not too shabby for Will Hewitt, but still not on par with Corey Bigley if he wants to maintain or even take that race lead away. AJ Rogers to the inside of Mike Fahey. This is for position. For the 8th spot, David Bradford, you see him in the frame, back to the lead lap here. He's running in the 10th position. Fahey and Minnick side by side. Again, this 4 position. Fahey holding on to 8th for now, but again, Minnick opted not to pit. His last pit stop 20 laps ago compared to the 97 of everybody else. His lap 77 for Minnick, so he's going to struggle here for a while. He's going to have to cross his fingers and hope we catch a caution so we can come down and take that last set of tires. In fact, he still has at least 2 sets sitting over the wall. He's only made 2 stops at all tonight.
Yeah, he's sitting there hoping for one here within the next probably 5 laps or so to really give him the opportunity to take advantage of that. Because then the other guys will have to make the decision. Do they come in and take their last set and run the last 30 plus laps? Or do they stay out and give Minnick definite advantage?
AJ Rogers up to P6, working to the inside of Drew Blaze, will have the spot. Now sets his sights on Cole Dansley. Rogers has been fast tonight. Again, spent a lot of time up in that top 3, trying to work his way back up there, trying to work his way through some traffic. He's got work to do. Dansley a little loose off of turn number 2, opens the door a little bit here into 3 for Rogers. Rogers short work of Cole Dansley moves him up into the top 5. Fast race car underneath the 1. Caution comes out. Steve Luttrell in trouble. And others, it seems. Didn't catch exactly who. There's a few drivers that were involved there. Frank Griffith, one of them. Been a tough night for the 54 as he'll tow to pit lane. Let's take a look. Oh, Nicholson involved too. There might have been a little contact there based on the way the 4 went around. Just narrowly avoids the barrels that protect the inside pit wall. So watch the 54 and the 4. Ironically, a firehouse in New York City. If you know, you know. So a little bit of contact there with Griffith and Nicholson. Nicholson tries to save it. Dirt tracks it around, but catches the flat of the racetrack, and it's all she wrote at that point. I think Matt will be okay, because I don't really think he hit anything outside of the right front fender of Griffith. And where does Luttrell... Oh, we lost it. Check again. It looked like
Griffith didn't really have any other contact with anything too, so it's surprising to see him kind of jump to the pits.
Oh, Luttrell just snakes his way through. So pit stop wise, we had some takers, we had some non-takers. Corey Bigley was a taker, so was Will Hewitt, and Hewitt beats him out of pit lane. Those that stayed out, from the bottom up, Steve Luttrell, Brandon Minnick, David Bradford, Drew Blaze, Cole Ansley, Rodney Roberts, but Minnick's going to come down now. Now, Chris, I don't know what happened. Did he go down a lap? Does he have to come down this time? I didn't think he was dropping back that severely. Maybe he missed pit lane. I don't know.
Yeah, no, he was still on lead lap. He didn't pit the first time by. No. I'm not sure exactly what happened. I'm curious to see if he gets any kind of penalty for coming in lap after, because typically that's close for lead lap cars by the first time.
Well,
so,
we'll watch it here when he leaves pit lane. I should get an indication if he gets a black flag for anything, but so far so good for the 81.
Sometimes it won't tell you until after it goes back green too. It'll pop up. So we'll keep an eye on that once it goes green as well. See if it pops up. May not, and at the end of it, he's got pressure tires here. So
now we got a different issue. The top 4 drivers will be Rodney Roberts, Cole Ansley, Drew Blaze, David Bradford. Their pit stops coming lap 97 to 98. Now, that puts everybody behind them with almost 20 lap newer tires than them. We saw how quickly Minnick dropped back through the field when we went green. Once Bigley got through, continued to free fall through. Likely to see the same here for the top 4 as we get ready to restart this race. It's going to be interesting, to say the least.
Absolutely. Who knew it was going to come down to a whole bunch of strategy here at the end?
I don't think anybody knew it. The way it was running in the first half, I thought we were going to go green to checker without a yellow, but not to be the case. Rodney Roberts, though, in command here as the green flag comes back out. Hammers down the throttle, and the 11 back to the point. Cole Ansley now side by side with Drew Blaze for the second spot. Will Hewitt made a pit stop at lap 116. Roberts with a 0.6 of a second advantage, rounded up back to Cole Ansley and Drew Blaze as they run side by side for second. Caution on the speedway.
What you have there, bub?
Not sure what it was for. Let's see if this tells us anything. Fahey's running by himself here. But he's checking up in front of him. So still not sure what's caused this. We do have some drivers coming to pit lane. Oh, there's one car down low. Was that the 65 of Kimber? Yes, it was. There, we found it. All right, so let's see what happened here to Keeney Kimber. Loose off of turn 4. And Chris, I think you and I talked about this during our break. We're surprised we haven't seen more of this tonight, just trying to put the power down on corner exit. It's a tricky thing here at Richmond, especially off turn number 4. But Kimber comes around, slows the pace of the race.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing about the way he did was able to lock it down. I mean, he none the worse for wear as far as damage goes, but certainly losing the track position is tough.
So Roberts and Cole Ansley have opted to stay on the racetrack, just kind of gambling here that we're going to continue to catch some cautions, and they'll have another opportunity late to come down and take some fresh tires. But that needs to happen for it to work out for them. We'll see if it does. Taking a look at the race recap here for tonight. Current leader, it's shown as Cole Ansley, but it's actually Rodney Roberts. Cautions 4 for 14 laps with 4 lead changes. There hasn't been a bunch. You can thank Corey Bigley for that dominant performance in the first half of this race, but he runs there in the 3rd position. Still a strong contender to win this race. Weather-wise, track temperature, well, air temperature, 66 degrees. Still don't know what the track temp is. We'll see if we can pull that up here as well. There it is. Track temp 71. Actually a degree or so warmer, a few degrees warmer than where we started. So field on the 1 to go. It'll be lap 126 when we retake the green flag. Front row is going to be Rodney Roberts, Cole Ansley. Row 2, Corey Bigley and Will Hewitt. Top 2 drivers. Pit last at lap 97. Bigley and Hewitt, lap 116.
Green flag.
Roberts gets out to the lead. Ansley in second. Bigley runs third with Will Hewitt to his outside. Now Hewitt settles in behind the 58. Watch Bigley. Let's see if he can knife his way through these top two drivers. 24 laps to go. Bigley up to second. Roberts looked all sorts of loose off of turn number 4 with Bigley hot on his trail, just a few feet off the back bumper of the 11. 22 laps remain off turn number 2. Bigley makes the move to the inside and a block thrown by the 11. Aggressive block from Rodney Roberts here on old tires with 22 to go. I don't know if you can keep that up, and nope, you certainly can't. Bigley to the inside as they roll down into turn number 1. Corey Bigley, dominant performance so far tonight. Back to the race lead here with 21 laps to go. Now Will Hewitt going to put the pressure on the 11 machine for the second spot. Hewitt with a little bit fresher tires underneath him compared to Roberts. Kind of as we expected, Chris, Rodney Roberts starting to free fall back through the field. Same story for Colt Ansley, you're shown in the 7th position. But same story really between the two of them. They still have a set of tires sitting over pit walls. So if we get a caution here late, I don't know if it'll be enough time. They kind of need that yellow to come out right now.
Yep, that's exactly what I was getting ready to say. They need... If the caution is going to come out to benefit them, they need it to happen here pretty soon to stop the bleeding here. Spots. So if it goes much further, won't have enough time to move his way through the traffic.
Man, Roberts still throwing blocks as Luttrell looks to the inside, and quickly the 11 drops down to the bottom of the racetrack. Steve's going to move up the racetrack a bit here, maybe take a thought to go into the outside. Meanwhile, 36 has got Brandon Minnick all over the back bumper as well, while Bigley continues to check out. Half-second advantage back to Will Hewitt, but Hewitt's under fire from A.J. Rogers. Rogers finding any lane possible to get around the 33. He's definitely faster by about 3/4 of a tenth. Gets to the inside now as they roll down into turn number 1. A.J. Rogers looking for the second spot. The caution's back out, and David Bradford is involved. So with about 15 to go, under our 5th yellow of the night, we ran the first half of this thing caution-free. When the open pay window gets a little bit closer in view, the aggressiveness goes up. Let's see what happened here to David. Bradford running behind Mike Fahey. Oh, Fahey real loose on exit. Again, we've seen this a bunch, and Bradford just kind of follows him through, does the same thing, a tank slap in front of Justin Johnson. Johnson gets a little piece of it. I'll tell you, Chris, that's not something we see very often out of David Bradford, even if things are kind of coming unglued in front of him.
Yep. I was going to say it's one of those kind of rare instances where you see a mistake happen, but I think we're gonna have a couple takers here on pit road as you see Ansley coming down, and I think you'd probably be surprised if you don't see Roberts come with it. Doesn't look
Roberts
like
stays out. I mean, I guess he thinks he's good to go on fuel. I don't know if I like the call out of the 11.
I'm not leaving those tires over the wall. I'm sending it at that point. I don't know. See what happens.
Colt's going to take 4 and a little bit of fuel just to set the rear end of that thing down on the ground. He'll head back on out at 14.47 seconds to pit stop for Colt Ansley. Meanwhile, Bradford still sits in pit lane, probably trying to get some repairs made to that machine. He's shown 15th, the last car in the lead lap right now. I don't know if he's going to come back out. It didn't look too terrible for Bradford.
Yeah, unless it knocked the right front out of alignment or something like that, knocked the toe out on it. You know, didn't look too bad there, but you never know what happened on the car. So,
he's gone down a lap, Chris.
Yeah. So yeah, he's going to be definitely out of contention at this point, I believe.
So the front runners we had in the first half of this race continue to be the front runners in the back half of this race. Corey Bigley, of course, a dominant performance tonight, trying to cap it off with a win. Closing laps here at Richmond. AJ Rogers has managed to keep that second position. He would have dominated this one here tonight if it weren't for Corey Bigley. Will Hewitt, a strong showing as well in third. On the one to go, it'll be 10 laps remaining, maybe 11 laps remaining. It's the only thing I don't like about this new overlay is it doesn't tell me while we're under caution, but we'll get it figured out. We're going to start lap 140 as the pace car heads to pit lane. Green flag getting ready to come back in the air. There it is. Ten laps to go from Richmond. Oh, Jerry Wilson loose off of turn number 4. He's going to slide down into pit lane unharmed. We stay green. Will Hewitt now up into the second spot. Takes it away from A.J. Rogers. We'll see if A.J.'s got anything for the 33, but Hewitt's going to try and hang on to that second spot here and gain as many points as possible. I don't know what to say, Chris. I don't think anybody's got anything for Bigley here tonight.
No, he's got that. I think Bigley tonight has that rare combination of short and long run speed. So he's just dialed in.
I don't think it makes a difference.
Nope, he's just dialed in.
Rogers makes a look to the inside on Will Hewitt into turn number 3. It's a nose in alongside. Hewitt, real wide exit off of 4, but I think Rogers will have it here clear into turn number 1. 6 laps to go for Corey Bigley. Now Rogers has shown some really good short run speed. The last restart when they both had equal tires, Rogers was running about a half-tenth faster than Corey Bigley. But Chris, is that enough? I mean, you can run him down, but can you complete the pass when you're so evenly matched?
Yeah, that's where it's tough because Bigley, all he's got to do is go to the top, and he can defend that position pretty well, in my experience anyway. Now, whether his car works on the high side or whatever, we've only seen him make passes on the low side for the most part. So if it gets to that point, who knows? Maybe he forces Rogers to go to the outside. So, but main thing is getting to him. Obviously, getting around him is one thing, but see if Rogers is doing it.
Maybe a moot point here with 3 laps to go as Bigley ran a half-tenth faster than Rogers the last time by, but Rogers takes it back. Only about 100th difference between the two. Rogers was faster, but that's not going to get it done here with 3 laps to go and being back by 6.5 tenths. Bigley back around, 2 laps to go here from Richmond Raceway. Bigley into turn number 3 and now 4, looking for the white flag. Off turn number 4 here at Richmond Raceway. White flag in the air, final lap for Corey Bigley. Bigley with a comfortable margin, over half a second back to A.J. Rogers. Put the race car on pole position here tonight. One lap car in the mix might not come into play, we'll see. Into 3 and 4 for the final time. Barney, the flagman, waving the checkered flag, and Corey Bigley puts a woodshed whooping on the field and takes the Capital City 150. Bigley led 124 laps here tonight of 150, a stellar performance for the number 58 machine. He'll take the win. Bigley waiting for some traffic to pass, I think. There he goes, lights up the rear tires. Quick burnout for Bigley. He'll wrap it up.
Wasted no time.
Nope. Tires are expensive. Don't want to burn them off. Well, with that, we'll step aside here. We'll get our break out of the way. We'll bring our top 3 drivers into the Track Limits booth after this. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop-lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics, LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens, UMP Modified and Silver Crown driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws late model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
Need insurance coverage that's built for speed? Frank Yea's office in South Charleston has your back. Whether you're blazing down the highway, protecting the home you've built, or setting up a legacy for your family, we've got the coverage you need. Auto, home, life, fast, simple, and made for you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to explore all our services and start a free quote today. Lock it in, save it for later, or call us at 304-744-7700 to get started.
Back at Richmond Raceway, the capital city, 150 in the books. Corey Bigley, your victor in dominating fashion. See if we get a word with the driver of the number 58 machine. We'll bring him up into the broadcast booth. Corey, it's Steve and Chris with Track Limits. You got a copy?
Yep, I got you.
Corey, congratulations, man. Wow, we know you're a wheelman. There's no disputing that. But what was the difference maker here tonight? Was it wheelman versus setup and track combination? What made you so fast here tonight?
I think my setup too, and I kind of was not really, I was not, first one, I just want to see how hard I can run. And I did, and I wasn't really, they weren't really catching me. I was still driving away. I'm like, okay. Then the second run, I was just, when I got out way out front, I was just trying to be real easy because I seen I seen him, I was 5 seconds ahead. I'm going to be easy. And I seen I was starting to run the other guys back down, like the top 3 and all that on times. And I was just trying not to kill because it was good. To me, you have to have drive off the corner. And I kind of know how to set up car here to have drive off the corner and stay driving off the corner.
Well, you certainly made it look easy here tonight. We want to ask, though, you did get mired back in traffic a little bit. It was top 5 still, but how did the car handle comparatively to when you were out in front?
It didn't really change for me. I can even up top when the 49 got into me, I got up top and I still rolled the top pretty quick and I wasn't worried about it. And I knew I was going to be good even up top, but I didn't really want to run up there because I knew what it'd do. I just knew I would run just the bottom the whole time around. I just know how to slow pedal it and be easy off the corner here and just be easy off the corner and drive away. That's all it is. That's how you got to do it. You got to just save these rear tires here.
Well, you certainly did a good job at that, parking the number 58 Red Bull machine in Victory Lane here tonight. Next week, though, Nashville Superspeedway, certainly a bigger racetrack, a completely different approach. How do you approach the Superspeedway in Nashville next week?
I think we should be pretty good. I know it's pretty. I ran ITZR there once. It was a fix, but still I ran pretty good. We just got to get the car to just stay underneath us because I know these, with the fuel load and all that, they do change a lot.
All right, Corey, well, a job well done here tonight. Dominant performance, a dominant win. Rolling that energy into Nashville next week. Congratulations. Who do you want to thank before we let you go?
I just got to thank Stinger Motorsports, Frank and Josh for helping us. They were on the same set of, like I said, they're still learning more, and it takes time to get where really I'm at because like I said, this track is just my favorite racetrack to race here. Here in Bristol, it's short track. I'm a short track guy.
Well, with that said, I think Bristol's the last short track on the schedule. I wasn't going to get too much into that, but how do you feel about picking up a win there in Bristol here later in the season? I think it's end of March.
We should be good there. I won there last year.
All right, Corey. Well, that wraps it up, man. Thanks for talking to us. Congratulations, and good luck next week in Nashville.
All right, thank you, and thank you guys for putting it on so I can watch it tomorrow.
Fair enough, Corey. Thanks for talking to us. Corey Bigley, race winner here from Richmond Raceway. Next, let's talk to last year's champion, AJ Rogers. Started back in the 5th position, brings it home here into the runner-up spot. Let's see what he has to say. AJ, it's Steve and Chris with Track Limits. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
It's going good, AJ. Congratulations, man. Last year's champion, tonight's runner-up. It's been kind of a touch-and-go season to wrap up from last year's championship season. But tonight, things starting to come in together. A 2nd place finish after a 5th place start. Walk us through your evening. Was there anything you could have done differently to run down the 58 of Corey Bigley?
No, I don't really think I had much for him. I think he got a little tight there at the end, but I'd have had to get a better restart. I was just scared to get that black flag. It seemed like at the beginning of the race, it's kind of weird. I just wasn't trying to risk it. But then again, I also sped down pit road with about 50 laps to go, so that didn't help any. But I'll take it tonight. Sure would be nice to finally get a win here. I know I won a championship last year, but I'm still without a win. But getting there. I'm pretty good at the short track stuff. I still struggle at the 1.5 miles, and the drafting tracks I'm all right at. But the there's short tracks where I seem to get it together, but still got a lot.
Well, we've got Bristol Motor Speedway coming up here later in the season, but let's jump into Nashville Super Speedway next week, an intermediate-style racetrack. Is there anything you can do to put the work in here this week to have a solid finish or maybe even a win next week?
Oh, just definitely rely on Bobby a lot. He's been a big help, and it's been nice running for him this season. Getting to learn a lot from running with Frank and them before and then till now. So learning some extra stuff, and hopefully I can apply it and get a little better finish. It helps when you hook your sway bar back up like I forgot to do, making a change last week. That's why I didn't really make a lap. But you make mistakes, you learn from it, and you move on and get good finishes and just try to be consistent. That's the whole name of the game right now, is just I got to be consistent and then go after some wins.
Well, consistency paid off last season. We'll see if you got more of the same here this season. AJ, congratulations. Runner-up finish here at Richmond Raceway. And we were saying it earlier in the broadcast, if Corey Bigley decided to stay home here tonight, this would have been a dominant win for you here tonight. So don't hold your head down low, man. It was a strong run for that number one machine here tonight. Who do you want to thank for helping you get here?
Definitely Bobby Hamilton Racing. He's been a huge help. My buddy Frank, he's been a huge help, big friend with this too, and keep me motivated in it. And he's one that throws my paint schemes together. So, and just all the guys in this crew, you for doing that awesome broadcast, man. It's probably one of the nicest ones that I've seen, and as far as being able to go back and watch it and seeing the clarity and how good everything looks and how good y'all put it together. That's a huge shout out to y'all on that. And just all my friends, definitely for sure, that I've met over here. But couldn't ask for any better. Just hope to keep.
Well, AJ, you're cutting out just a touch here on us, but either way, thanks for the kind words. Congratulations on the runner-up finish here at Richmond Raceway. Good luck next week in Nashville.
All right, thank you. Sorry about cutting out. It's I got a new headset, still trying to figure it out. So,
all good, brother. AJ Rogers, runner-up here at Richmond Raceway. Next, we're going to talk to the 33 of Will Hewitt. Man, it's been a while since we talked to Will, but barks that thing into the top three here tonight. Let's get a word with the driver of the number 33 Chevrolet. Will Hewitt will pull him up into the broadcast booth. Will, it's Steve and Chris with Track Limits. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, Will, congratulations, man. Third place finish, fourth place start, a consistent night. I know it's not what you probably wanted to have tonight. You wanted to be up there second, maybe even in the race lead and win this race, but a strong run nonetheless. Walk us through your evening. Was there anything different you could have planned on? I know you made 4 pit stops tonight. Did you take all sets of tires?
Yeah, I took all my tires. I didn't. There's really nothing else you could really do, honestly. Like Bigley had a pretty good setup. I didn't have anything for him really. I was just trying to get in front of him and hold him back. But yeah, no, it's good to actually finish one of these things for once.
Being a BHR driver, we roll into Nashville Super Speedway next week. Does Bobby have anything up his sleeve for a solid setup at the Super Speedway?
Yeah, I think we got some stuff. We're gonna keep tweaking it and hopefully get it dialed in.
All right, well, a job well done here tonight. Top 3 finish at Richmond Raceway. Who do you want to shout out to?
I just want to shout out everyone who makes the league possible. It's a fun time to still have this around.
All right, well, thanks for talking to us. Good to hear from you. Good luck next week.
Later.
Will Hewitt, third place. Man, a few words. That's just how he is. But, man, he's been involved in this here for the last, well, scary enough, half a decade back to the SCAR days. So a strong run for Will Hewitt tonight. Well earned, looking for more. He wants to get back into his winning ways that he had in the past. We should expect to see that here at some point soon enough. So with that said, that's going to do it for our interview portion of tonight's broadcast. We'll take a look here at our race results, and I've been willing to expect we're going to have a problem here getting all the results to render properly. We've got the top 20 shown, so that's not as big of a deal as the starting grid, but we'll figure that out at a later date. Corey Bigley, your race winner. AJ Rogers, second. Will Hewitt was third. Dominic Bettini comes home in the 4th spot. Rodney Roberts was 5th. Keenan Kimber, 6th. Steve Luttrell finishes 7th. Cole Ansley was 8th. Mike Fahey, a solid run in the top 10, finishes 9th. Brandon Minnick from Lone Star Racing, 10th. Drew Blaze, also LSR. They were 9, 10, and 11, and 12th. If you want to talk about Justin Johnson in the 12th spot, Mark Truxell, shotgun to 13th. Ken Couch was 14th. Matt Nicholson, 15th. Josh Ingram, 16th. David Bradford, tough rowing from the beginning of this thing. He'll finish out in 17th, multiple laps down. Jeremiah Holt was 18th, 19th Frank Griffith. Alan DeFries was 20th, 21st was Terry Wilson. Will Jones, Bobby Hamilton Jr. round out the field 22nd and 23rd after their own respective incidents. So that's going to do it for us here at Track Limits Network. Chris, an interesting race. I mean, I was really kind of surprised to see this thing run caution-free for the opening stages all the way to lap, I think, about just past halfway. And then we had a handful of cautions there at the end. What's your take on things?
Yeah, it kind of gave us a little bit of everything tonight. You know, you saw the long run speed, get stretched out, and then bunch it up and saw some good impact racing too. So, good job to these guys overall. Congratulations to Corey on his dominant win, and hopefully he can put something together for himself and get going next week at Nashville.
Certainly looking forward to that. Nashville Super Speedway next week here on Track Limits Network. I think we got Zach Millett back up in the booth, and I don't know if Chris Goins will be with us as well. Maybe he'll be out on the track. I don't know. We'll figure it out. You got to tune in to find out. So either way, thanks for watching tonight. Like, follow, share, subscribe. That helps us out immensely, not just us, but the league as well. Please do so. It's free to do. We don't charge a subscription. None of that sort of thing, but help us out. We do appreciate it. For Chris Goins, I'm Steve Singer with Track Limits Network. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next week.